Hello everybody, Blake Rudis here with your 30 days, 30 critique sessions. We're on day 26. It's been quite the journey and we've got a good image to look at today here from F64 Elite member Penny LISOWSKI. I'm looking forward to this one, but I think it's also going to be quite difficult because the challenge that we have here today is again from Jay Halloran. I'm beginning to think that she's got some friends that are liking everything because she keeps getting selected in the end of this. I'm on to you, Jay. Our twist is, do not say the words tone or color on the critique and the showcase. For an extra challenge, don't use the word effects on the critique and showcase as well. Succeed in not using all three words, and I'll donate another $25 to Give Kids Art. I'm going to do it. And she hopes that others will jump in and donate too. That's awesome. So I'm going to do that. But what I'm going to have to do is, she said I couldn't say those words during the critique, right? And also during the showcase. I've come up with some words for these. However, I'm not going to tell you what they are right now. You're going to have to guess as I do these critiques. So let's jump into the critique and get to Penny's image. This is beautiful. Wow, look at this macro shot. You know, macro shots can be quite difficult to work through because it's all about happenstance, right? Like you can try to plan as much as you want, but it depends on how that whatever it is that you're photographing is going to interact with the space that you've decided to photograph. Some people will do it on a tripod. I don't really carry a tripod with me. I just have a flash on my camera and I just go wherever I see something happening that I want to photograph. But I think that the composition you have here is wonderful. I mean, look at the way these leaves just kind of come in like this, and it brings us right into this, right around the wing and then down through. And you got some beautiful gloom and glitter happening here. And man, that mood paint that you've got going on in that flower is wonderful. Not to mention, I think there's a little bit of post-production sorcery that you've done here that is just really working out really well for me. So I'm excited to look at this one, but I do have a slight disconnect. My disconnect is actually with the mood paint. We have this thing called mood paint theory, right? And with that, you're looking at a certain mood paint and then you're using another type of mood paint to alter how that is going to appear to the viewer. What I see here is that there's a lot of this orange kind of mood paint happening in the image. And I think if we applied a certain mood paint to the gloom and glitter, we might come out with something pretty awesome. So let's jump in Photoshop and we'll get to the work. All right, so I'm gonna do all of this with one layer. And that layer that I'm gonna do that with is a selective mood paint layer. I could just go right into that and select it from here, but in the visionary panel, I've made these sliders here. And these mood paint sliders are just awesome. When you move these, it's actually like you're working with mood paint like you actually are a painter. And what that means is that if I move this one right here, and then I look at the properties of this and go into this red right here, you'll see that not only did red move into being more red, it also brought some counterpart friends with it. We got a little bit of a boost of magenta, a little bit of boost of yellow, and even a little bit of intensity with the black there, right? So check this out. So the first thing I'm going to do is add a little bit of this blue mood paint to the gloom and glitter in the background and see what happens, because we have this brown right here, and browns opposite is actually blue, because brown is really kind of a combination of like a deep orange and yellow. So if we were to make the gloom and glitter in the background a little bit more blue, it's going to make that brown actually stand out. The reason why it does that is because they are opposites on the color wheel. And because they're opposites on the color wheel, it creates a certain sense of harmony in the image. All right, so I'll move that down, and then let's see what happens if I go into the neutrals and make those a little bit more on the blue side. I like that because that helps the background get a little bit more on the green side, and that's wonderful. All right, so now what about the whites? So the whites, I think, are really gonna find inside the wings of this butterfly. So I'm gonna move that into being more on the blue side. That will pull all of that white away from yellow. Or if we go up here, you see it's really yellow. If we pull this down, it pulls it away from that yellow and it kind of offsets that. It's kind of like mixing the paint to neutralize that, okay? So let's look at the before and the after on this. Man, we're getting close there. Now, I will say that the magenta here is a little bit strong. They appear like they're actually out of gamut. And I don't want to reduce that magenta too much, but I do want to reduce it a little. So I'm going to bring that down to here just like this. Okay, good. That looks good. because the magenta is trying to steal the show. And right now we have a beautiful showing happening between the orange and the wings and also the blue in the background, and that's looking wonderful. So now let's see what happens if we add a little bit of yellow in here. That's going to make that yellow a little bit stronger in the butterfly. Wonderful. It could be a moth. I don't know. I don't know the difference between a moth and a butterfly. Someone will tell me though. They love to do that in the comments. And then we're going to go into the green and make the green a little bit stronger in the background. Okay. Now let's see if there's any blue in here that we can bring up or bring down. There's not a whole lot of blue in here to really work with, so that's not going to matter much. And then let's go into our reds and see what happens when we give that just a little bit of a bump of red. Okay. Look at that. Look at that. That's wonderful. Let's turn this off and on and see if we've done some good mood paint work here. All right. There's your before. It's a great macro shot. Trust me. Awesome composition. Beautiful work with your gloom and glitter here. But this mood paint just sets it off. Look at how that mood paint theory is just dancing on this image. You've got a wonderful juxtaposition between blue and orange, and it was already there, all right? Just took a little bit of an extra eye to help assess that and see what you could pull out from here. We did all of this on one adjustment layer. Sometimes you don't need to run an image through the gamut of things to make it just a little bit better. Sometimes all you need is just a little bit of refinement, and it goes a long way. Man, oh man, look at that. Wonderful work, Penny. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing this with us. This showcase image comes from F64 Elite member Jane Pittenger, and you have definitely done some post-production sorcery here. Your gloom and glitter is wonderful, and I really enjoy the mood paint in that fire. It is just beautiful, glowing orange, yellow, red. It's working out really well. And I think that you've done wonderful work with the composition. I've seen a lot of images of volcanoes in my time as an Elite member. And what I really appreciate about this one is how you can see the stars through the smoke. One of my favorite things actually in night photography is not having a clear sky. I know everyone begs for clear skies when they do night sky photography, but I actually like it when there's just those patchy clouds that the stars can just peek through. And I think this image does a wonderful job of showcasing how those stars can look as they peer through either clouds or smoke in this case. But either way, I think this is something like, this is magnificent. Human beings as we are, we're kind of attracted to fire. There's a reason why we love fire pits in the fall. There's a reason why cooking food over a grill, a nice hot fire, is just so much better than cooking it in an oven sometimes. And the other aspect of fire is how dangerous it can be, knowing that that fire is contained right now. But man, oh man, could that be hazardous? It's kind of like taking a picture of a snake, like, that it's not going to jump up and bite you if you're 50 feet away, but you still want to be cautious anyway. I can imagine you probably felt the same way when you're photographing this. One day I may get out to Hawaii to photograph something like this, but I got to tell you, what I appreciate the most out of this is that the smoke there is creating a beautiful atmosphere for all of this gloom and glitter and mood paint to work beautifully on this canvas. So I think you've done wonderful work here. Thank you for sharing this with us, Jane. Whew. So we made it through that without saying tone, color, or effects. I'm allowed to say that now because I just couldn't say it during the critique or the showcase, right? Because technically speaking, we were in the bounds. So in case you didn't get it, gloom and glitter was for tone, mood paint was for color, and post-production sorcery was effects. So there you go. There you have it. I made it through. Thanks, Jay. I'm pretty sure we'll get another one. So just going over the numbers, $5,000 from Circle of Dreams, which came in last weekend, $5,671 from individual donations. Thank you all so much for all of your generosity, especially in today's times. I know that times are tight, so for you guys to be donating to this is just wonderful, and I know that the kids are gonna get a lot out of this. And then the F64 Academy interaction, that's becoming a subscriber, signing up to the email list, joining F64 Elite, either as a monthly or annual member. Those totals have come to $1,547. Kind of a little bit slow mover compared to how it's been the last couple days, and that's okay. I think we're going to be coming into the home stretch here. We are looking at a total of $12,218.50 that has come in so far for Give Kids Art, and that is exciting stuff. As a friendly reminder, Sundays we do not have a twist or a challenge because I pre-record that one so that I can spend the morning with my children, but I'm expecting you to come out with some awesome twists in the last 3 days. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I expect the heat. Bring it, all right? I want it. Make it as difficult as possible because been kind of easy up until now, guys. Come on. All right, that's your challenge. That's your challenge now. Make it harder. All right, Monday, we'll have a new update for the donation amount.